Greetings to all you lights across the nations. My name is Tristan from Illumination Network, and I'm coming at you today to talk about meditation, more specifically the chakras. For those of you who don't believe in energy centers for, whatever uh, philosophical reason, I have a kind of new spin to think about this in terms of psychological aspects, where we divide these 7 energy centers into just 7 different aspects of being. And the bottom chakra, the root chakra, kind of does that already. It's very synonymous with what is fundamental in psychology to being, the root of where you can feel safe and grounded within your own being. And so going right into the root chakra, essentially the root chakra is what deals with our sense of fear. It deals with our sense of security, and this is how we feel empowered within our being. Picture yourself as like a car in a wind tunnel. The wind is just rushing past you, but you're just like a statue, just the wind is going right past you. And this is what standing in your power means. A couple of mantras that kind of represent the root chakra go like, I am here, I am sturdy, I am solid, I am the mountain. And these all are meant to be like reminders of just like you standing here, not letting fear kind of make you shaky, make you feel like you can't do something. And you know that's the most prevalent thing of what we've seen this year with all the chaos and the mandates and the virus and everything, has been an attack on fear. Whether intentional or not, that's the result, is that we've ended up with a lot of fear, and we've ended up with a lot of systems in our lives, in our countries, in the world overall, being rattled by the state of events. And so the reason I'm going live today, and just making a video per se, is to say that we need to be doing this work so that we can be better playing our parts in whatever this year is meant to end on. And so we're starting with the root. This is the base chakra. If the root becomes imbalanced, then all of our other psychological aspects become imbalanced as well. Fear, it'll shorten your breath. You won't even have enough breath to like complete your task, to do the thing that you're trying to do. And so, yes, starting with the meditation of the root, this is the first step in balancing all of our energies. And so even if you don't believe in energies, consider it from a psychological perspective, where fear and love are these two very polar opposite driving forces. And so many things of like people not being able to express themselves creatively, not feeling alive enough to even like press record and start putting out themselves and their content, or not being able to feel connected because you're scared of rejection, or going out and speaking your truth, or being able to perceive something outside of fear, or connecting to a higher power for being scared of what might be out there. Working on your fear, standing in your power, grounding yourself, is what is the most essential part to becoming whole, to becoming balanced, and finding your inner peace within yourself. And so moving on from the root chakra, we go up to the sacral chakra. This deals with like your creative energy. This deals with your sexual energy. Those two are kind of synonymous to the extent, because what is sex? You're creating life. That's the epitome of creation. And so when your creative center is blocked, you experience this in the sense of like kind of doubting yourself, not feeling like you can really put yourself out there and express what you're feeling. And the biggest ways that we experience blockages with this theological energy center, if you will, is through guilt. Internal guilt, being like, essentially disqualifying ourselves because of things that we've done that we could have done better in the past. But that's right where the key is once we realize what we've done and why we did it. Every creature makes its decisions based on the experiences it's been exposed to, nature and nurture. Once we realize what we did and why we did it, it becomes really clear as to what we need to do to not do it again. And so like If you're committed and you have the intention to not repeat a mistake, how could you feel guilty for it? This isn't an excuse for bypassing. This is saying make a plan. Make a plan right now and allow yourself to be creative. Allow yourself to put this energy out there, to make a joke that maybe pushes the envelope a little bit. Might ruffle a few feathers, but this is what life is about, is being creative, being fun, poking fun where fun can be poked. And so moving through guilt is the essential piece of being able to tap into our creative center. And being able to express ourselves creatively is a great mirror for self-exploration. And it just keeps getting further the more we go up the energy centers. So going up to the solar plexus chakra, the third chakra, we have our willpower. And our willpower is just, it's this fire in our gut. We breathe into it. It's in charge of the diaphragm. So we take a full breath. And then we feel alive. We feel like ready to do something. The oxygen is just like coursing through our veins. We're ready to fucking go after it. And sorry for swearing. The energy center just, it deals with shame. So just like I noticed myself swearing right then, I immediately, like, my energy just like contracted. It's like, oh no, what are you going to do? It's like, just remember you're taking a video, man. Remember not to swear. Remember what your intention is. Your intention here is to educate people about the energy centers and, the psychological aspects that others can relate to, so that we can become balanced, so that we can better play our parts in this crazy year we've been having. And so the solar plexus chakra deals with shame. This is more of an external guilt. This is like you messed up at work and you think all your coworkers and your boss are going to label you as some unproductive or compromising gear in the cog. And it's really just about being honest, saying like, you know what, I messed up. I shouldn't have swore on the video. I shouldn't have, messed up at work, but I'm honest. I know my mistake. I'm going to try to do better. This is where I'm at right now. So please just let me try again. And just keep trying, keep getting better, keep being honest. And that's all you have to do. There's no reason to let, especially other people, tell you that you shouldn't be trying, that you shouldn't be putting yourself out there, putting your energy out there. And you move through the root, you tackle all the fear there. And, once you don't have any fear, all the other ones they just keep moving, You just keep moving through the process of letting go and allowing yourself to be, and continuing to make the intention to get better. So those bottom three energy centers kind of deal with like the very internal self. But as moving on to the heart chakra, the fourth one, this goes into our feelings of connection. So how we feel connected to other people, how we feel connected to the world at large. Interesting thing that the heart chakra is represented by the color green. And the human eye sees more shades of green than any other color. And I think that speaks on the essence of connection, that when you go out into nature, when you go out around some green, you instantly feel connected. You instantly feel, present with all of the love that is the earth holding you in this space. The earth has you in the palm of its womb. You're right there. And, the only thing that blocks this feeling of connectedness and this love is grief. And, anytime we lose somebody, anytime we lose old friends who might not have been aligned with us, we feel really bad about not being able to connect anymore. And, it really does take, in the situation of like lost connections, looking at it from the perspective of, you were with them at that one point for a reason. And, letting go of the grief really shows you the love that you shared with these people during a time of your life when that was exactly what you needed. And then the moment came where you realized more of your power and you grew apart. And so you look back fondly on your youth and the fun times you had with all your crazy friends when you were young. And, the same goes for your loved ones. I had a grandfather pass last year. And, it was hard. The whole family was grieving, and we thought a lot about who he was for the family, and we thought about the ideals that he held that kept us together. And so by thinking of him and the love that he gave us in his life during moments of crisis or hard times, I think of the strength of that great soldier who was the leader of our family. And I can ask him, I can kind of picture it in my head, what would your love be telling me right now, Grandpa? And, if you know him, then the answer's right there. Feed the love that isn't here physically, but is there spiritually. It never left you. Energy cannot be destroyed. And, so grief is really the only blockage for this feeling of connectedness. And if we could just focus on the feeling of love, we can seek this feeling of connectedness. We don't need to be afraid of rejection. Rejection just means it's not in alignment. And, we still have love. We don't give love to receive love. We give love because we don't care what it gives back. We just want to give love. And so, just really, really seek that, and it'll find you. And that's another reason why, I'm going to release these free meditation guides for all of this, because people need to be knowing how to release this grief, release this fear, release this shame and this guilt, because, we can't be living under all of these heavy negative emotions. We have to be moving through it. We can't bypass it. We can't just say, oh, I don't want to feel that. There's work to be done. And that's what these meditations are. These meditations are the work that is everything to bring to light all of the darkness inside of you. You don't cast aside the darkness, you incorporate it. And that's the essence of duality, That's the essence of what it means to be human. That's what it means to live in this universe. Everything has a polarization. And so moving past the heart chakra, once you feel connected to people outside of you, now you come to the throat. The throat is where we speak our truth. Everyone has their own brand of truth. Everyone grew up in a different example, a different scenario, a different timeline. And, speaking your truth is uniquely you. No one else can be like you. The more you put yourself out there, the more that you really dive into the things that you love, the more you become different than anyone else. And that's never a bad thing. Speaking your truth, whether people agree with it or don't, they still felt something. It's better than just sitting in a box, wondering what it would be like if you decided to live your life. And the biggest thing that truth is blocked by is the lies that you tell and the lies that you believe from others and from the world at large. And so a lot of the work to do with this energy is looking at, essentially all of these chakras, they all relate to each other. These are all various aspects of one being that is you. So even looking at it from a psychological perspective, the reason you tell lies could be coming from a place of fear, could be coming from a place of guilt or shame, overcompensating. And so by you believing that you have to lie, you are already selling yourself short on what your truth could be. And even if you're young and naive, your truth isn't, fully honed steel, you're still practicing. And so keep practicing. Don't sell yourself short and develop your whole life around a web of lies that isn't even true, because you won't be able to feel yourself. And then, you'll have guilt about the essence of that. It's of the lie itself. And you'll be fearful of getting caught for that guilt. And it just keeps compounding and compounding until you don't even recognize yourself in your life. And then, moving on, we have the last of the physical body, the mind's eye. Some people call it the first eye or the third eye. But, this deals with our perception, our awareness, our ability to see outside of ourselves, to take a look at our own life and be like, judge our thoughts, judge scenarios, knowing good things from bad things, right from wrong, and being able to go into this space and look at the events of your day consistently is key to calculating your trajectory. Aim for the stars, land on the moon, recalibrate, shoot again. Like, that's everything. And that's what the mind's eye does. But the mind's eye is blocked by illusions. And what that means, this could have to do with lies. This could have to do with any of the other chakras. You know, if we're allowing what's going on with the coronavirus to affect us in a fearful way, rattle our root, upset all of the balance of the rest of us, we're going to be living life through an illusion that is very limiting. You know, if we believe all of what we hear in the news from the CDC and everyone, we're going to think that the only things that we can be doing to protect ourselves and our health is to wear a mask, socially distance, and, you know, isolate ourselves in our house. Don't change anything from your lifestyle. No one wants to talk about that. But, you know, that's the whole essence of the illusion. So once you kind of take a step back, you say, okay, what can I be doing to keep myself healthy? You know, really be honest with yourself. That's the key to being able to take a look at your life and angle your trajectory in a way that will help you live your best life. And so we don't want to be living in any illusions. We want to be living in a state that's as aligned with truth, that's aligned with the reality as possible. And letting fear about everything that's going on right now into our lives, into our minds, into our conscious, is exactly what's going to be limiting from allowing us to play our part, to do all the things like taking vitamins to improve our health, going out into the sunlight while it's still here. Because if we sit inside all year, we didn't get any sunlight during the summertime, and we're so fearful, that's how you're going to get sick. It's not going to be a virus. It's going to be the fear. It's going to be the limiting mind state. It's going to be not taking care of yourself because you think the world's going to end or something crazy like that. You know, pay attention to the things that you're thinking, because that's the essence of mindfulness meditation. That's the essence of the mind's eye chakra. So what illusions are you living under? And what does that mean for the life that you could be leading? And, you know, this is definitely a lot of work, but that's why I'm releasing this content for free, so that people can, you know, start to get to work, because this year is only going to get crazier. We have a Mercury retrograde coming up. It's going to end on November 3rd, as if that isn't the most synchronistic astrology to ever come. And then, you know, we have the winter solstice, December 21st, 6 planetary alignments. You know, there's so many ways that this could be spelling out. We know it's going to be big. So we have to be doing the work to make sure we aren't living under any illusions, that we aren't living with fear, that we are allowed to express ourselves, that we are breathing fully, feeling alive, really putting ourselves out there, putting all of our energy into this, feeling as connected as possible, finding our tribe. You know, we really want to find our tribe and align with everyone who's ready to keep going, moving faster. And, you know, we don't want to get bogged down by any grief or any lost opportunities because we weren't living in alignment. So that's why I'm releasing all this content for free. And you'll see a link for that in the description below. And yeah, so going on to the last chakra, you have the crown, something up above you a little bit. This deals with your connection to a higher power. And for all the atheists out there, you know, this could really just come out to be something as simple as nobody understands fully where the universe came from. No one can say, like, oh yeah, God told me, like, this is how he set it up. Like, you know, this is, it's all pretty basic. You know, step 1, create light. Step 2, move upon the waters. You know, it doesn't, no one has all of the answers. We have inklings, we have feelings, we kind of get the gist of it. But in terms of natural law, you know, the way physics shapes out, we don't understand it. We study it. We're consistently learning. And so the essence of the crown chakra is to let go of self-identity and look at the scope of all of creation. You know, the great concepts that created a physical human body, such as yourself, a vocal language over the course of history that was meant to communicate consciousness so we can feel heard and understood, and the intricacies of why that's even important in the first place. So even if you're atheist, looking at the crown chakra from the aspect of, you know, just the grandness of the universe the great vastness, unexplored void, we find that when we remove ourselves from the equation, we find the essence of what it means to be conscious, to be receiving awareness and playing our part in a way that's aligned with something greater than ourselves. You know, if we're living from a state of vanity, if all of these energies are working towards just like greed and taking from others and making the most of our own situation, it's going to be limiting. But if we take a look at like what the fundamental factors are of what it means to exist, we can see the essence of life being this connectedness. You know, all of these chakras are meant to serve the heart. They're meant to serve love and connectedness. That's why nature is so green. That's why we see more shades of green. It's kind of weird, but there's like a shade of green in my glasses reflecting back right now. And you know, that's all it comes down to. We, by removing ourselves from the equation, we can take a look at, you know, almost like psychic perception of laws and fundamental aspects of creation playing themselves out. So a good example of this, I was meditating the other day, and I was feeling, you know, some doubt. I was feeling like some resistance from the universe on what to do. And so I was meditating on the crown. I was, you know, just trying to think about like breathing into this energy that is outside of me, you know, releasing myself and saying like, what is the flow here? What is the essence of moving past these obstacles? And when I found the inner light, I opened my eyes and I immediately see like a bird just kind of flying by, and he like meets some wind resistance, and he's just kind of floating there. And he's like, oh shit, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to duck under, and then he just flies away right on the path that he meant to go. And so that was like an instant revelation through the observance of nature. And it wouldn't have been possible if I was stuck in my thoughts, if my thoughts were filling my being. And, you know, I was stuck in this perpetual cycle of trying to plan, trying to organize what to do, trying to come up with an action step one by one of how to move through this obstacle, when the answer was much more simpler than that, and it came from observing nature. And so even if you're atheist, like, there's still so much vastness outside of yourself that if you can remove yourself from the equation, you can still find some essence to take awareness from. And that's the essence of meditation in itself. You know, we're trying to take a step back. We're trying to re-examine our lives, angle that trajectory, you know, shoot for the stars, land on the moon, recalibrate. And that's pretty much it. So for anyone who's interested in these meditations, you know, I have a link in the description. You can download it there. It'll have correspondent notes at the bottom, so you can like email me and get some free advice. You know, if you've having difficulty with certain aspects of meditation. If you've never meditated before, or if you've had difficulty meditating before, I'm also including in the link description some beginner guided meditations, my first 3 lessons from my meditation class, just talking about how to breathe, how to focus, and begin this journey, this practice, because even if you're not good at it now, if you have ADHD and it's kind of hard to, you know, focus for long periods of time, this is a practice, and so the more you work on it, the more consistent it'll become. So yeah, I'm Tristan from Illumination Network. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IlluminationPNW, and you can find me on Facebook at Illumination, and our group for group discussions at Illumination Network on Facebook. So to all the lights across the nation, I hope you keep shining bright, and keep breathing, family. I'll talk to you soon.